Hi, I'm Donna. Welcome to my garden. Today I am going to cook some fish in parchment, and that's my favorite way to cook fish, and I thought I would share that with you today. If you have a garden, it is super easy to cook fish this way, and you can get a lot of your fresh ingredients steamed into a nice sauce in your fish, and it is just wonderful. So today I have some Thai ingredients that are coming in my garden. I have some wonderful young galangal or galangal, oregano, tomato. Okay, I don't know exactly how you pronounce galangal, but this is when it's very young. It's just beautiful and sweet. It looks like little pink shrimp, and it's tender, unlike a regular ginger would be, even though this is part of the ginger family. Okay, so we are going to cook this fish. I'm going to head over to the market. I'm going to pick up a piece of fresh fish. We have a lady in our area that brings in fresh fish on Fridays and Saturdays from the coast. So us here in the mountains, we can enjoy some fresh fish. Her son actually owns a little seafood shop there. So we'll head over there. I'll pick out my fresh catch, and then I'll hit the garden and see what I've got I can throw into this parchment. And then we're going to go to the kitchen and get to cooking. Starting with some carbonated water, and that's from my soda stream machine, some frying oil, some nasturtiums, a side shoot of my sugar snap pea, and some Thai basil, some salt and sweet potato leaves, and some baby sweet potatoes, some Kaffir lime leaves, Thai sweet peppers, serrano peppers, and my very last shallot of the season, some sugar snap peas, 2 stalks of lemongrass, and then I have here 2 Kaffir limes that fell off of my tree, so I popped them in the freezer. They're actually frozen and not moldy, so I'm just going to use the zest. I have galangal, a red Thai chili, and some carrots. And then I have rice flour, which I just blended up some rice in my Vitamix for that, and some coconut cream. And then, of course, my fish. And one other thing, I used palm sugar later on, which I did not show you. You can get that at your Asian market. Okay, so now let's get to cooking. This is a little tool that I picked up at an Asian market, and I'm going to peel those sweet potatoes, and they'll just kind of shred, and I'm going to soak those in some cold ice water. And now I'm going to trim my peas, and I need to chop up my galangal. I'm going to half this up between the hard pieces and the tender pieces. And I'll just pull out any discolored pieces that I don't like. And I'm going to mince the hard, and the tender is just fine enough for me to use. And I will just chop that down. And I'm going to put half of it in a little ramekin so I can use it for some sauce later. Okay, now I need to get my serrano peppers going. I'm going to take the seeds out of those. Serrano peppers aren't usually in Thai food, but I went ahead and threw them in here anyway. And then my last shallot, I reserved 3 rings to put on top of the fish later, and I'm going to go ahead and cook these into the sauce. And then I have my Thai sweet pepper. Take the seeds out. This is how I like to cut my peppers. I like to cut around the seed in the seed membrane. And my hot chili, I'm going to half it up. One is going to be for garnishing, and the other half right here is going into my parchment fish. Okay, and then I'm going to peel my carrot, and I'm just going to peel it on the outside like that and slice it, and I'm going to simmer these until they're just tender. I do not want to overcook these. And I'm going to take off the top parts of my lemongrass, and then I'm going to mince the very bottom of the stalk. That's the part that's tender that we can eat. I'm going to start melting some butter. I'm going to just fry up these the 3 rings of the shallot that I reserved and the serrano pepper. I went ahead and removed my carrots, kept keeping them warm because I didn't want them to get overcooked. Now I'll just go ahead and put my shallots in there, and that's a little spot where everything can stay warm and happy until I'm ready to plate it. I need to get just some egg white. I'm going to put some oil on my parchment paper. I'm going to go ahead and marinate my sweet potato leaves in some pomegranate red wine vinegar while I'm getting my fish ready. And so I'll go ahead and add my shallots, the ginger, the lemongrass, some more of the shallots, and the red pepper, some more galangal. I call galangal ginger sometimes, it's a Thai ginger. My sugar snap peas, my serrano peppers that I cooked, and then my Thai sweet peppers. The lemongrass stalks, I will remove those before I serve it. Then I'm going to zest my lime, and it's thawed out a little bit, so it's harder to zest that way. If you use frozen citrus rind for zest, use it right out of the freezer. It's much easier to use that way. And I'll put a half of it and put it on top of my fish. And then I'm going to tear my Kaffir Lime leaves and put those on the fish, and those I will put in the freezer. Now here is some coconut cream. Then I brush the edges with some egg white. Now it's time to seal up the fish. You want to make sure to seal it up really, really tight. You don't want any of the steam to escape. And into the oven it goes at 400 degrees. Meanwhile, I checked on my sweet potato leaves. I got some oil heating up, and I'm going to melt down some of the coconut cream. And I'm going to add some galangal to that and some palm sugar, which I just grate into there. It's available at your Asian market again. And we'll let that simmer. And now I'm going to get my rice flour. That's 1 cup of rice flour to 3/4 cup of carbonated water. And I'll blend that up in my Vitamix. And then checked on my fish. It was ready, and I was not ready for it. So I turned off the oven and then propped open the door while I got my sweet potatoes ready. I drained those from the ice cold water, and then I patted them dry with paper towels and a colander, tossed them in the rice flour mixture, and fried them in the oil. When those were nice and crispy, I removed them and added just a little bit of salt. And I went ahead and put those in the oven to stay warm with the fish. Then I got kind of a wild idea to make some soda. So I took some of the Kaffir Lime and some palm sugar, some of the carbonated water, some ice cubes, and a couple of lemongrass stalks while I got my fish ready. Went ahead and removed the Kaffir Lime leaves, the lemongrass stalks, and the lime, and removed it from the skin and put it on my plate with all of the sauce, which was in the parchment paper. Topped it with the 3 shallots and the sweet potato leaves on the side. Put a little bit of the sweet potatoes on top, and then I had my carrots, which I'd already tossed in the coconut cream sauce with the galangal, and a little bit of sweet potato there too. I decided to put a few chives on top of there. Then I had a side shoot of the sugar snap pea with a couple of the nasturtium flowers. Some of the red pepper flakes and a sweet potato leaf. And to top it off, I put a little piece of galangal on the outside of my soda. Looked like a little shrimp. It was so good. Absolutely delicious.